Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you this mid-afternoon, going into close to afternoon, late afternoon time for a album review. I'm sorry, I was swallowing a bit. I was swallowing some spit. It was really gross. I just was trying to do something, but basically, I'm returning to you for an album review for Ozzy Osbourne's long-awaited studio album. Believe this is his, I don't remember what number album he's on, but 13th I think is what it is. So this is for Ozzy Osbourne's new album, Patient Number 9, that I just got done listening to for this 13 track album and an hour and a minute of an album. So I'm going to discuss what I listened to for this 13 track album for Ozzy Osbourne Patient Number 9 and let you know my thoughts on it. So let's dive into this album review. Now it starts with the first song, which is Patient Number 9, featuring Jeff Beck, and that was a really good track. Really enjoyed it when it first came out. It was the single to announce his new album, and I was really excited for this album for sure. When this song came out, the title track itself is very good. Even the long version is probably the best. So the video version is like the shorter version to it, and that's okay, I guess, but I like the longer versions usually. And the long version was like 7 minutes and 20 seconds or so. So basically, I'm giving Patient Number 9 still a 5 out of 5. Immortal, featuring Mike McCready, was actually a really good track. I like how Ozzy is sounding in the track, and the drum work and guitar work, mostly the guitar work from Mike McCready, is really good. So 5 out of 5 for this one. Parasite is another great song that I really enjoyed from this track. Um, well, off this album, I meant to say. Parasite is really good. Zach Wilde is in this uh, song that he's featured in with Ozzy and all that. Well, he's the feature artist for Ozzy's song Parasite, of course, but this was a really outstanding track, so 5 out of 5 for this one. No Escape From Now featuring Tony Iommi, which there was one song with Tony Iommi, and that was Degradation Rules, but I'll get to that in a moment and give you my initial thoughts on it as of now. So, No Escape From Now was a better song than the Degradation Rules, in my opinion. I really enjoyed this one. It's 6 minutes, but it is very effective and a very well executed track with how the mixing is sounding and just the guitars and drum work. It sounds like a really good Ozzy song for sure. So 5 out of 5. One of Those Days featuring Eric Clapton was a pretty good track. Really enjoyed it. It's very melodic and has some hard rock stuff to it from time to time, but it works with what it's sounding like. So 5 out of 5 for this one. Thousand Shades was a featuring Jeff Beck was pretty good too. Wasn't sure if I was feeling for Ozzy's voice at the time, but it grew on me when the second chorus came in. I'm like, that's fine. I'm like, it's pretty good. So wasn't hating majority of these tracks. I was really liking them for sure. So 5 out of 5. Jeff Beck did very good with how he was playing the guitar and all that, or the mixing or whatever his role was for this song and all that. It did pretty well. Mr. Darkness featuring Zach Wilde. I almost called it My Darkness. I wrote that down and I was like, oh, it's called Mr. Darkness. But this was a really good track. It's right before my favorite song, which I can so relate to with some things I go through with my mental health and all that. But basically, Mr. Darkness featuring Zach Wilde is a really good track. Really enjoyed it, so 5 out of 5. I really like the solos that Zach Wilde does with the guitar work and all that, so it's pretty awesome of a track. Definitely rocks for sure. Nothing Feels Right was the last single we got a few days ago. I think it was on Monday or whatever. Labor Day, of course. And I really enjoyed this track. This was a really good song. And I love the lyrics. I love how Ozzy is sounding in this track. It's really good. I can so relate to some things with this track, not everything. What the song is mostly pertaining about is just how nothing feels right with him or whatever. It could be mental health, it could be physical health, it could be either one of those, but basically he's referring to his physical health. So basically, I really enjoyed Nothing Feels Right. I can pretty much get on board with this track a lot, and I really love the guitar solo at the bridge part of the track. So 5 out of 5 for Nothing Feels Right. Evil Shuffle was a weird one, but it did very well with what it was going for. It was like a thing he was saying in Do the Evil Shuffle lyric. I was like, oh, that's what the song is kind of pertaining to, like an evil shuffle dance or whatever. And Zach Wilde was in it, and he did pretty well. So it had a weird, wonky melody, but it still worked. So 5 out of 5. Degradation Rules featuring Tony Iommi. I don't like the harmonica in the track, but I don't know. This song I had some issues with. I think it's good, but it could have been better with how the instrumentation was in the track. Mostly, Tony Iommi sounded really well, not sounded. Guitar wise, he did very good in this track, and the execution of it was pretty well done for some moments of it, but I'll still have to give it a 4.5 out of 5 still. It's my least favorite, but it's alright. Dead and Gone was a pretty good one. I really enjoyed the message that Ozzy was singing about behind it, and this was a really well done track, so 5 out of 5 for this one. God Only Knows was a song about the school shootings and all that. I think that's what the song is pertaining to be about. So that's what you're going to get when you listen to this track, but it sounds really good. So 5 out of 5. And finally, the inner outro song, Dark Side Blues, is only a minute and 47 seconds, but it's not much of a track, so I don't even know if it should have been on the album, but I think it closes out the album pretty alright, but 4.5 out of 5 for this one. I don't know if that would have worked with the album. Maybe they could have added a different song, but it is what it is. It's still a really good album. So overall, production, mixing, and execution, I think Ozzy Osbourne's 13th studio album, Patient Number 9, I believe that's the number album he's on right now, 13. I think Patient Number 9 album was a really good album. It definitely rocks for sure. I highly recommend you check this album out when it comes out at midnight tonight. And first score for me, I'm giving, in my opinion, Ozzy Osbourne's Patient Number 9 album a 9 out of 10. This was a really good album. I definitely recommend checking it out. When you get a chance to listen to it, I had to download it in order to listen to it today. So, yeah, I will be reviewing Parkway Drive's Darker Still next. So that's the next album I have on my list to do. But anyways, 9 out of 10 for Ozzy Osbourne Patient Number 9. I really like how it's sounding, and majority of the tracks are really good, for sure, and pretty good as well. I really had a good time listening to this album in full. So comment below. Let me know what you guys thought of the Ozzy Osbourne album Patient Number 9 if you've heard it. And if you enjoyed this album review I did for you guys, hopefully this thing works because my laptop's been acting iffy today and been having issues with the laptop with how the camera thing is messing up or whatever, or the audio quality probably, but hopefully it works itself out later on. But comment below and let me know what you guys thought of this album review for Patient Number 9 by Ozzy Osbourne. Tap like on this video if you liked it, subscribe to my channel if you can, support the channel. I have a feeling this might be his last album because I know he's not doing really well, but this was a great album for sure. This is going to be one of the highlights of the year. because that's how good this album is. It's really good, but I wouldn't call it album of the year, but it's really good for sure. It almost got like a 9.5, but Degradation Rules and Dark Side Blues were my least favorites, but other than that, the rest of the 11 tracks were amazing for sure. So definitely recommend checking this album out when you get the chance. It comes out at midnight tonight, so for streaming platforms, so definitely check this album out. It's a really good album. So with that being said, hope you enjoyed this album review for Ozzy Osbourne, Patient Number 9. I did the best I could to make it as good as possible. The next album review is going to be for Parkway Drive, Darker Still. So until then, stay safe, take care, and as always, I will see you in my next review.